Hi guys, today I am doing a tutorial on the tooled leather look, and for alcohol inks you are going to need, for my look, is the sepia. Oh, where's my camera? It's a Tim Holtz. I'm going to use the caramel Tim Holtz and a little bit of the crimson red. I got my brush from Walmart, just a cheap one, and I'm using a little cup to put my ink in, because this is going to be different than when you do the wood grain look. And so I don't turn my hands a whole bunch of different colors because one of the kids has an appointment tomorrow. Gloves. Now you want to start with your light color. Shake it up really, really good. Got all these other things in my way. This way. You're going to put it in the bottom of your little cup. I put a decent amount in my cup so I don't have to keep filling it. Excuse me, I'm all phlegmy today. Now, hopefully you guys can see this really good. Dip your paintbrush in and just brush it on like this. Make sure you get those runs. Now, I already put my design on. I got my design off of Etsy. I'll put a link in the comments below where I got it from. Now you want to go keep your brush in one direction like this while you're doing it. Make sure you get in all those little crevices too. Now I put it on super thick. I keep looking up, make sure I'm still in this frame, because and then you want to paint your bottom. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for you guys. Now when I paint my bottom, I like to go back around like this and make sure that I don't have any weird spots at the bottoms, or like a darker spot, like it tends to get like right in there. Now remember, your alcohol ink dries like really fast, and I like to go over it a couple of times until I start getting this pattern in it, like that. so you want to let that dry for a couple of minutes. Get another cup out. Clean my brush here real quick. See a spot already that needs to be fixed. I always keep a ton of paper towels handy when I do this too, because alcohol inks can be very messy. I see a spot right here that I can fix. That dry. Clean my brush out really good. Now when alcohol ink feels tacky, that's when it's just about dry. And you want to make sure when you clean your brush that you get as much of the rubbing alcohol off of there as you can. I use 91% for mine, just equate Walmart brand. Now you're gonna need that in a minute too with some of your paper towels once you get ready to do the next step after you're done with your inks. I just like to get my brushes really dry so they don't get all like crusty. Now for this next step, to get your dark look, you're gonna mix the sepia and the crimson. Get that dark look. Now you want to kind of put a lot in there so that way you don't have to remake your mix. And I put about 5-6 drops of the red in. That time I did 6. Swirl it around a little bit, mix it up some. And that'll give your brown that tint of red. And then you want to do the same thing you just did, like this. Nice and dark. Now when I do this step, I like to I load it on there really good. Get it nice and dark. Now you'll feel it as you're working around your cup. It'll start to get real tacky. That's the alcohol inks drying. I need to get a better holder for these besides my hand. Now I keep going around the cup until I get it as dark as I want it. Keep working around the cup. it nice and dark. Let it dry a little bit. I love working with alcohol inks because they're very forgiving. Okay, let that dry. Once this dries really good and gets a little bit more tacky than it is, I will add another coat because I want to get it just as dark as it is right there. I want the whole cup that dark. And once you get it nice and dark, which this one is not dark enough for me yet. A little bit more of my mix. Let this dry a little bit more before I do the next coat. This spot just does not want to darken up. So I'm touching this up. I'm sitting here working, and one of our friends has a parent that tested negative for COVID a couple days ago, well, about 2 weeks ago, and then started showing symptoms. And is now in the hospital, which is really scary. We're hoping that she makes it through. I'm hoping that all you guys out there are able to get through whatever is going on in your area with all of this. It's a very scary world that we're living in today, and I started making tutorials to keep my mind busy. A little bit of a run in there. Be okay. I'll darken it up some. There we go. So whatever's happening where any of you are, I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and hopefully all this is over soon and we can all get back to whatever our normal lives were before. Okay. Nice and dark now. My bottom's nice and dark. So now what you want to do is sticking to my cup. You want to let that dry really good. I'm going to clean my brush up a little bit while that goes. So many stressful things happening in this world today. It's scary. So I'm going to change my gloves for this part because they're getting very dirty. You're going to want some paper towels. I bunched mine up like this. Put 2 new gloves on. Still a tad tacky, so I want to let it dry just a little bit more. I don't want it really tacky anymore. Now, what you want to do, you're going to take your rubbing alcohol and you want to put a little bit, not a lot, on your paper towel. Scrunch it up and spread it around. My glove there. Back up. Now very lightly, what you're going to want to do with your paper towel is just wipe like this. Don't press, just wipe. And when you do that, you start to get that coming out. So you just press very lightly. Well, don't press, just wipe. You just keep working your way around in different spots. Now I like to leave darker spots in mine just to give it more of that that worn look. Then when you feel like you're running out of alcohol on your thing, just move it around some, change positions with it, find a wet spot on it. You want to keep working with it like this until you get it to where you're happy. Just keep wiping and wiping and wiping. And you'll start to see your vinyl pop through. It's underneath. And you just want to keep working like this until you're happy with the outcome. Now when I do this, when I put my design on, I paint my cup first. Make sure to sand it, then use a matte spray paint. I use Rust-Oleum. A little bit more on there. I use Rust-Oleum. It is my favorite, and I think it sprays the best when it comes to painting my tumblers. I do 2 coats, and then I put my design on. And then once I put my design on, I then spray it again. I put 1 more coat of the matte spray paint on it, and then let it dry. When the vinyl that I use when I do these is a matte vinyl, the spray paint tends to stick better to a matte vinyl than it does the gloss. Oh, that's looking beautiful. But I think I need a new paper towel. I think my paper towel has soaked up everything that it could possibly soak up. There we go. That's better. You just want to keep working with it like this until you get the look that you're happy with. Now remember, when you're doing this, not every single, they're not going to look the same as anything. So each one is different. That's what I love about doing ones like this, is just the difference that you get in all of them. And no 2 are the same. I like more one-of-a-kind, unique things. Now when I do this, I don't do this to the bottom of my cup. My bottoms always tend to, the bottom of the cup here always tends to be a tad bit darker than the rest of my cup in the end, so I always take and go around like this to it. Try to lighten it up just some. Do have some spots that are still a tad bit darker than what I would like them to be. Drop some alcohol in there. I leave a paper towel under me to pat my paper towels a little bit drier. There we go. Doing exactly what I wanted it to do now. And this is a super easy cup to make. I watched one other tutorial and was able to make one right away. And I didn't have any trial and error in my process when I did it. A little bit more. It's pretty dark. And there it is. There you have it. Now, what you want to do is you want to let this dry. I let mine dry for about an hour, and then I hit it with a gloss spray paint, clear gloss. I use Rust-Oleum, the 2X one. Let that, make sure when you spray it, you have it, your spray can like a foot back, because if you hit it too hard or too close, it will make your alcohol inks run. And that's not what you want to happen at all, trust me. You will ruin it and have to start all over again once that starts to run. And I will post a, see if I can touch that up just a little bit. There we go. That looks good. That looks really nice, actually. It looks 10 times better. I always say I'm not going to mess with the bottoms of the cups, and then I end up doing it. But I guess if you're going to do the worn look, you might as well make the whole thing look it. There you go. There you go. All set, all done. I'm going to let this dry for an hour, and then I'm going to hit it with 2 coats of the top coat to clear it and seal my alcohol inks. If you don't seal your alcohol inks, they tend to run when you put them under epoxy. I have not tried with Bright Tone, and I do see some people say that their alcohol inks don't run when they put them under epoxy, but I've also seen a lot of people's that do, and I've actually had a lot of them. I've had a couple of cups where they ran on me, so I always seal with my clear coat before I hit it with epoxy. And I let my clear coat dry for like, I don't know, 3-4 hours before I even attempt to put my first coat of epoxy on it. There you go. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments, and I'll answer them the best that I can. And I'll also post a link to this design that I got in the comments. That way you guys can get it too if you want to. And thank you. Make sure you hit subscribe to my channel. We have a whole bunch of other tutorials planned. I'm actually writing out a list of ones that I'm going to do. So if there's anything that you need help making and you want to see an easy tutorial on it, put it in the comments and I will write it down on my list so I know what you guys need help with making. And then I will get a video done for you and get it posted. That way I can help you out. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video, guys.